Hello. Could you just say your name and your position, please?
Sure. I'm Michael Mo, former district councillor from Hong Kong, who are now seeking asylum here in this country. And tonight I just help the Scottish Hong Kongers to, as one of the volunteers, to get this June 4th commemoration vigil done. And I'm glad that there are like over 300 Hong Kongers and Scots came here and to commemorate those who died simply because they would like to fight for democracy and freedom and anti-corruption in China.
Yes. So what does it mean to you to be able to do this protest here in the UK?
The vigil itself has become another symbol that we resist to the CCP's regime. For sure, such kind of vigil could never be held again in Hong Kong under the draconian national security law regime. And this is kind of a responsibility for Hong Kongers who are still enjoying freedom around the world to light up the candles on behalf of those who can't or still remained in Hong Kong.
What is the difference between doing this protest here in the UK and in Hong
Kong? There are quite a lot of differences. For instance, we have to do it in bilingual, both in English and in Cantonese. And of course, we're trying to add more music, and at the same time, we cut off a bit of the slogans, which pretty much used to shout at the Victoria Park, the annual vigil. We try to adapt and make it local, and so that the people around here in this community or even in Edinburgh could join.
So last year in Hong Kong, they protested the June 4th incident, and Hong Kongers were arrested. So how has this protest changed for Hong Kongers from before?
So the Hong Kong authorities keep on using many like administrative or legal instruments to stop Hong Kongers from commemorating the victims of Tiananmen massacre. At the same time, for sure, to ban literally all protests held in Hong Kong for so-called pandemic reasons or national security concerns. So for us, we do have a sense of duty here to keep on voicing out for Hong Kongers. They are still suffering in Hong Kong, and we have a duty to voice out for them and to try to make Hong Kong less repressive as much as we can. We know that's really a tiny glimpse of hope, but this is still worth voicing out across the world.
Thank you.
How do you think? What do you think could actually bring a resolution? Have you had any ideas as to what might actually bring a resolution to the situation in here?
For me, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell what strategy works best, but the real resolution, or the one who could make the call to initiate resolution, always comes from the top. If the leaders of Hong Kong authorities or Peking authorities would not realize the need to give a resolution on both the Tiananmen massacre and the crackdown of civil liberties in Hong Kong, there might be not much that can do from the bottom up. But I think in the era of global, changing geopolitical situation, I think that the global community could give some kind of muscles to show to the CCP that they have to do something, they have to do the right thing to ratify what they have done. And I feel more confident than before for getting this pathway done.
What kind of support have you had? What kind of support have Hong Kongers had that you've experienced personally? I mean, we know about the government obviously allowing Hong Kong people to come over here, but within the sort of the government to actually make moves to sort of, slap the CCP on the wrist or say, no, we're going to do something more concrete than just words. Have you sort of heard anything like that from people? Any support from politicians or?
Well, what I would say is that the support of Hong Kongers, majority come from fellow Hong Kongers. See tonight, there are like hundreds of Hong Kongers turning up, and this sense of togetherness and mutual help really just lifts people up and getting rid of the anxieties to be resettled in a new country. In terms of policy and actual concrete helps, we know that politicians might have other agendas or their priorities, especially at this moment. At the Westminster. But for us, we would like to see that the change could be achieved at local level. For instance, we hope that there will be more local councils opting for the BNO welcome scheme, the welcome hub scheme, and we see positive signs in across Scotland's local councils, for instance, in Edinburgh, in Glasgow, and more importantly, we see there is a chance that the Scottish Parliament can do a bit more to support Hong Kongers who choose to resettle here in Scotland. And we are working out that way. So for me, Scotland is doing way better than those who are down under, perhaps.
多謝今日各位喺呢度出席，我哋無忘六四，我哋就算去到他鄉，我哋繼續都喺呢度悼念天安門運動嘅死難者。今日有超過330名香港人同埋在地嘅蘇格蘭人參與今晚嘅悼念集會。Over 330 people attended tonight's vigil, including Hong Kongers and of course fellow Scots. 喺今日，我哋好感謝黃丹、Alice Sandefur、國際特赦組織英國分會、暖氣軍師撐香港、Rewater CIC、Julian 英國港僑協會、Tibet Solidarity、Democracy for Hong Kong in Scotland 同埋前灣仔區議員張嘉莉係協助蘇格蘭香港人。今次我哋一齊喺呢度舉辦呢一個愛丁堡嘅六四悼念集會。Thank you all those who helped us and facilitated this June 4th vigil, including all the volunteers, speakers, and organizations as well. 而且去到最後嘅時間，我哋係會向呢一個民主烈士永垂不朽嘅像係獻花。咁如果你手上亦都有蠟燭嘅話咧，亦都可以係點起佢，咁亦都係可以去呢個像會前係獻上你嘅蠟燭。如果冇又或者點唔到嘅唔緊要，你都可以將你嘅蠟燭拎翻上去你嘅屋企裏邊，喺窗邊點起一片燭光，去證明我哋香港人從來冇忘記過六四。